And then at that point, we didn't really understand the fatality rate. We didn't understand that it's a fairly low fatality rate and that it's a disease mainly of the elderly, kind of like flu is, although a bit different than that. So that was a pretty scary period where the world didn't go on alert, including the United States, nearly as fast as it needed to.
He's saying that COVID-19 had a low fatality rate, and it basically affected the elderly. And he's saying that, you go back and listen to the whole thing, he's basically saying that everything that we've been saying for the past 2 years, that there was no reason to panic, but it got away from them. And so, it's like what he said about Omicron. Remember what Bill Gates said about Omicron? That's what he said. Hold on a second.
You were ahead of the curve prior to the beginning of this pandemic. Where would you assess where we are today in beating COVID-19?
Well, sadly, the virus itself, particularly the variant called Omicron, is a type of vaccine. That is, it creates both B-cell and T-cell immunity. And it's done a better job of getting out to the world population than we have with vaccines. If you do sero surveys in African countries, you get well over 80% of people have been exposed either to the vaccine or to various variants. And so, what that does is it means the chance of severe disease, which is mainly associated with being elderly and having obesity or diabetes, those risks are now dramatically reduced because of that infection exposure.
What?
And it's sad. We didn't do a great job on therapeutics. Only here, 2 years in, do we have a good therapeutic. Vaccines, it took us 2 years to be in oversupply. Today, there are more vaccines than there is demand for vaccines. That wasn't true. And next time we should try and make it, instead of 2 years, we should make it more like 6 months.
A disease?
Which certainly, some of the standardized platform approaches, including mRNA, would allow us to do that. So, it took us a lot longer this time than it should have.
A disease that targets the elderly and the obese? And they said, 98% recovery rate from COVID? And then here he says this?
It wasn't until early February when I was in a meeting